So, I have been trying to think of a topic to talk about for a bit now. I didn't do one last week because I couldn't think of it, and the week prior to that, I had my parents, in town and in my apartment, so I didn't really have any time to record. That being said, the majority of my time, though, has been doing one thing and one thing only, and now I feel like I have a good grasp of what I can talk about, and that is, if you've been keeping up with my Instagram or have just not been sitting under a rock at all, it's Elden Ring. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, and to the point where I can't, it's in my mind, just thinking about it 24/7 at points where I'm like, don't want to think about it, I think about it. And because of that, I want to talk about it, and I figured why not, after almost 65 hours in the game, because I'm still playing through it and I'm not even close to beating it, I want to express why I enjoy this fucking difficult game, but also at the same time very rewarding game. And it is, I think it's like a mastercraft in game design, as well as a mastercraft in understanding that sometimes you do not need to make something easy, and you don't need to have difficulty options available, even though there technically are difficulty options in Elden Ring. And I'm just going to explain that. So, the majority of people that ever complain about From Software games are just like, they're not accessible to people, they don't cater to everyone. And I'm like, well, yeah, nothing in this world is made for everyone. I have read many manga and played many video games and listened to many music that some people would absolutely loathe, but I find so much enjoyment out of it. But I understand that my enjoyment doesn't mean that everyone else's enjoyment has to come from the same way that I enjoy things. Elden Ring is quite literally accessible to anyone that wants to play it. It's whether or not they're willing to go through the process of learning the game, as well as learning that it's not going to hold your hand. It is going to throw you into the fire, and you're going to be forged by it. It is quite literally an incredible experience that I haven't really had in a while. Like, I have played From Software games before, but I've only really ever beaten one, and that was Bloodborne. I almost platinum Bloodborne, but I was stuck on one of the Chalice dungeons that I need to complete. And so if you've ever played Bloodborne and you've ever done the Chalice dungeon, it's the one that halves your health throughout the entire thing. I was stuck on the boss the entire time. Could not beat that fucker. Which meant that I couldn't do the last two playthroughs that I needed to. Well, I could do them, but I didn't feel like going through the... it's complicated, but you could pick up that game and play it, and if you're able to play it, you understand that when people say get good, they mean understand the game. Getting good doesn't mean just like, oh, you just have to get better. Your understanding in the game is what makes you better. Like, you understanding that if an opponent is doing a certain, like, animation, that means that this attack is probably pretty dangerous and you should roll out of it or roll into it to overcompensate with them lunging forward and you are now behind them. Or some attacks are just like, oh, you can't dodge that. Well, maybe you can stagger them before they get out of that, or you could probably try to get out of range of it. Like, there are so many different things that you can do and understand, and if you want an easy mode, just use magic. Quite literally, I'm using magic, but I also use a sword, and the Sword of Night and Flames, because it's awesome. And it's kind of great, the fact that you could have it as easy as you wanted to with co-op as spirits and just understanding the little nuances of the game that they don't require you to, but if you do understand it, it becomes so good. And Also, it not holding your hand throughout the entire thing. Like, when you go to a site of grace, it has, some of them have like a beam of light shooting off in a direction that's sort of leading you to the main story path. But you don't have to follow those. In fact, you don't need to do any of the main story missions really in any order and by missions. I mean, you can follow the path, or you can decide that, fuck it, I want to explore all of the Weeping Peninsula and then go fight Margaret and then body them. Or you could be like, fuck it, I'm going straight to Stormvale Castle as soon as I get Torrent, and I'm gonna fuck you up. And it becomes this interesting sort of dynamic where you make it as hard or as easy as you want, and if you do not have the time to do it, that's fine. I mean, most of the times when I play games nowadays, because of work, I only get to play a few hours on the weekend here and there, and I probably, if I was in college or in high school, I would have been in a better situation, probably already beaten Elden Ring and on my second playthrough. Like, the majority of the games that are out now do not require you to learn the game. You just know what you know and you just go with it. They hold your hand, and it's a breath of fresh air when you are playing a game that just tells you, hey, here it is, go. And I love it. It's incredible, the freedom that I have in this game, and yet also do not feel like it's vast to the point where I feel overwhelmed. It is always a constant experience of finding something new and delving further and further in. I legitimately hope more games are like this, but do not try to just make the game like Elden Ring because they saw Elden Ring's success, but not take any of the core things that made Elden Ring good and just put it in there because they thought Elden Ring did it. And it is such a good game. Like, I have trouble trying to convey how much I enjoy this game, because enjoyment is subjective. I might enjoy it, you might hate it, and that's perfectly fine. And I just quite literally hope that more people find enjoyment with it, and hope that once you are playing it, and it is one of those games where you find more enjoyment playing it than watching it. So if you want to pick it up, go ahead, pick it up, play it. If you have not, I would say this, if you are on the fence about Elden Ring, even at this point, and go out and play Elden Ring, I would say give it at least until you beat either Godric or Margaret, and maybe explore a good portion of the map when you are out of the opening area, which is Limgrave. And if you still do not like the game, then fine. That's perfectly fine. But all I say is give it a chance, because Jesus Christ, I can't fully explain why I enjoy this game. I would need hours to do it because it's fan-fucking-tastic. There's so many things about it, that the little nuances that I just quite love and enjoy. Sure, I get frustrated, but at those points, I just put down the controller, rock around, maybe read a volume or two, and then pick it back up, and then go forward, calmed and relax. If you are being frustrated, you can go to any other place on the map and explore and try and find new ways to help out in the segment that you are stuck in. Quite literally, the Elden Ring became such a great example of why sometimes your formula for games that you're making is great with the open world, and sometimes you should try open world games if you are interested in it. And oh my god, I can't really explain why this game is so good. I want to go back and play it. So good. Like, character design, it's, the memes. Oh man, I can't fully articulate why I enjoy this game. I'm trying to, but yet at the same time, it is... It's great. I understand that it's not perfect, there are bugs and all that, but in my mind it is a perfect game, even with those flaws. So, I'm going to go back to playing Elden Ring. I hope you enjoyed my rambling thought process of why I love Elden Ring, and I hope that you all stay safe out there. If you want to play Elden Ring, go out, play Elden Ring. If you want to read manga, go out, read manga. If you want to see more of my stupid face, think about subscribing. If you don't want to see my stupid face, oh well. If you enjoyed my rambling, hit the like button. If you dislike this rambling, hit the dislike button. I'm the only one that sees it, and I don't really care about that. If you have played Elden Ring, put it down in the comments. I would love to hear about your builds and what you've experienced and all that. And if you're trying out Elden Ring for the first time, I highly recommend it. I understand that it's not for everyone, but if it is for you, you're going to love it. So, that's it. Bye!